Hey everyone, welcome in. Betsperts Golf here for your first look betting preview. 2024 Butterfield Bermuda Championship Port Royal Golf Course, the second to last event here of the FedEx Fall. We're real close to big boy golf here, Andy. No offense to everyone here in the in Bermuda here this time of year, but what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, we are about 7 weeks from the Sony. There's some gaps here.
Centuries first.
Century. Yeah, sorry. Century Sony, same thing.
Yep. Back to back.
Back to back in Hawaii. It's crazy how quick that pops around. But yeah, we have this one, and then next week the RSM Classic, and then basically nothing for a while. I'll still keep the newsletter going. We'll do some previews of the 3 courses for next season for the majors that aren't at Augusta. Ron is already working on some real early previews on there to help me out with that. We'll, of course, probably touch on some of the other stuff that's going on, like the Hero World and the Grant Thornton, but the betting markets around those aren't real big, so I wouldn't expect a lot of video or podcast content around them. Maybe me and Noonan will get together sometime in December and do something around next year's majors where we talk after Ron builds all those articles for us. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know that we did any podcasts in December last year.
We didn't. You know what I was thinking we should do? Production show live.
Production meeting right here on there.
We should do some sort of fantasy element, whether it's just me, you, and Ron, and we'd like a 3-man draft or some sort of something.
We could find a fourth.
Yeah, we could definitely find a fourth. And we could build that out if we wanted to expand on that. But I think that there's some sort of season long sweat would be fun. Something like that. But who knows? Yeah,
I like that. We could maybe. I don't want to put words in his mouth because he's a busy man, but maybe not as much in December. We call Andy Lack or somebody else that we know or hang with, and we could do just a snake draft and whatever you want, salaries. It could be just like Survivor style where you get the salaries for the year of your team. And see who drafts the best team for next season. That's fun. We could do something like that. Yeah, I definitely want to get together once or twice after the RSM and do some talking. Maybe we can do a quick, 2024 or 2025 overview. Of at least the majors and any changes. Like I said, I'm going to still do some writing. We got some leaks possibly on the live schedule, which who knows what that looks like if there's some sort of agreement. The DP World Tour schedule is out today. So there's a lot to talk about, just not as much to gamble on and build models around. Yeah. If you guys think of something, hey, what if you would be fun? This would be a fun conversation to have in December. Hit us on Twitter, DM us. It's fine. We'll probably do it. Like, I'm fine throwing together some half-hour episodes here in December, having some fun. I like the fantasy idea though, Noonan. We'd probably just do it through the Tour Championship because it's going to be awful hard to do a draft and try to figure out who is going to win the Bermuda Butterfield Championship Open Invitational in 2025, because I can't even figure it out when it's right in front of me. This is basically who's going to have a good week in the wind year.
That's basically what this comes down to. Typically, your some actual golf news, again, not like betting news, but your defending champ Camilo Villegas is there's some like player like he's got like maybe a new job coming here soon in terms of like being a part of the pack that makes a lot of decisions. We have Mav McNeely, who's sitting at the top of the odds board here, is like rearranging the FedEx Cup points. Did you see this? I think that's so really cool. So like we have some non-golf betting news, but some golf actual news in terms of some people that are important for this event. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's nothing really to this course other than how you can play in the wind. It is obviously, for the most part, really exposed to the coast. There's some Parkland style holes where you get hidden a little bit in the trees, but for the most part, the wind is a massive, massive factor. It is the main defense outside of a handful of strategically placed fairway bunkers. And it's, mattered a ton. And you look at the weather forecast as of now, leading into the week, it is going to play a factor. And it doesn't seem like there's clear wave advantages yet per se, but I'm trying to hold out on bets to see maybe as long as possible to see if there's anything that kind of opens up, say Wednesday afternoon, and it becomes very clear if there's a wave advantage where you could just be dead on arrival if you're just on the wrong side of the wave. So I want to see where that goes, but sustained wins here for sure this week.
Yeah, we had one of those, about a month ago where it was basically if you're on one side of the draw, it was close to a 3-stroke difference, I believe. Sometimes the winds kick up, and this is definitely one of those where, Ron had a quote, I think it was from Patrick Reed, where he said, "Hey, if it wasn't windy, we would destroy this course."
Yeah.
Because it's like 6,800 yards and it's easy. There's not a lot of defenses. If you can just take out driver and not worry about fighting the wind, yeah, you'd probably see a 58 here if we came back and played it every year under perfect conditions. That's what the winds will do here. People have said that not only is it windy, but it switches where, the same hole can play different 2 days. And it becomes difficult because it's tough to throw darts when you're facing that kind of wind. Like the guys who are really good from like 125 to 175, those balls are getting way up in the air. Those guys have not only, the distance and the control, but for the most part, those balls do tend to have a higher apex, and it's just so hard to do that in the wind. So, you've seen the difference in scoring. It's like a 10-stroke difference between years where it's a little windy and years where it's very windy. Yeah. Looking like it's going to be a windy year. And, on the rabbit hole, we can look at maybe we don't even build a model. We just sit and dig into who's been good in windy conditions. We can sort it out by windy conditions in swing season. I'm trying to think of some of the other windy. When was
coastal courses? We can look at some of that too, because that's actually
what was
the guys that play.
One?
What's that?
What was the real nasty one? It wasn't Memorial a few years ago. That one got real nasty. Was it Pinehurst? No, excuse me. What's the Florida course where everybody but like JT and Bubba had a terrible round? Because
the players. We had the players.
The players.
Yeah, and JT won that one. Yeah, or no, that was the Cam Smith win.
I don't think JT won. He just had he's like 4 under from round 2, and the scoring average is like 75.
Yeah, that was a tough one for sure. So we could look at that. We could look at recent form as well here. Andy said short course. It's the shortest in rotation. Big old greens as well. Bermuda agronomy tips to tails here. Obviously, we're in Bermuda. It'd be weird if we didn't have Bermuda grass everywhere too. But there has been a little bit of a trend, again, depending on the wind direction too. Distance has mattered a little bit. It has been beneficial because you could be playing straight into the wind too. So it doesn't seem to be a consistent angle of wind either. So there's not a lot of real granular details because the wind is such a moving target here in terms of what matters. So I would think recent form and what's your body of work look like in the wind if your sample is anything. So let's jump in.
Well, that's the thing too. You've talked about how to attack this course if it is windy. A lot of guys are going to be able to club down. Not only because they don't want to fight the wind further, on these 300-yard shots, but there are dangers. There are spots they can get in trouble if if their drive goes too wayward with the wind pushing it around. So they are going to club down. It's so easy to hit a lower, apex height shot for a lot of these golfers compared to us. Like me, if you want me to try to hit a stinger, I'm going to do that 1 out of 20 times if I'm attempting it to. These guys are able to do that. It's so easy for them sometimes. But as we said, it's not easy on approach. It's just there's no real way to take the 3-wood out of the bag on a 150-yard approach shot and hit a low line drive. It's just not something you can do. So I think maybe what I'm trying to get at is I wouldn't mind looking at just approach in windy conditions. Who's been able to find that in their bag where it's like, well, I'm really good at judging, or I have a good caddy. Honestly, I think that's maybe where a good caddy comes into play. It's like, hey, I'm really good at physics or whatever. I'm able to tell you, you hit this one 149 on average. we got this much wind. You usually hit it this high. We're probably going to take, a club and a half here.
1,000% matters this week for sure. Is the calculus involved in making sure that you have the right club in hand and be able to hit that with confidence here too. One of the actually cool additions here to the rabbit hole. We've again, if you are just hanging with us for the first time in the fall swing, continue to add to it here all off season. You can see here this recent form tab, or a little button that you can click on, and it's pretty sweet. You just want to look at this week's field and see who's playing well. So give you here the last handful of events they've played in, their strokes gained, average per round in those events too. So you can just see, one screen finishing position wise of who is playing the best golf in the field, which I think is, really useful, especially in the fall swing where, some of these guys are, playing every event, in the fall based off of where they are here on the bubble in terms of like, swing 10 and 125 and all the other unique things that they have to kind of target and mess around with here. So really cool. Again, new addition on the rabbit hole that you can click in and see. But let's take a look at wind. I mean, so let's just see here. We'll go maybe fall swing, or you can just capture last 6 months. It's going to capture guys, because some of these guys aren't playing here. Just look last 6 months, who's playing the best. Just play total last 6 months. We'll add this as a baseline, and let's get into the wind here. Go to filter by conditions. You can go all the way down and windy. Now, again, this is gusts. This is not sustained, but I feel pretty confident. It looks like we're going to have sustained north of 20 for most of the week. So we'll click into the windy conditions. We'll have to back out our sample because we're going to get a pretty small sample here. It's in the last 3 years. Who's played well in windy conditions? I like Andy's thought of approach, but we can mess around with all of it. Ball striking, I think, is also really useful to look at. Your top approach players in windy conditions over the last few years, 3 years, and you're getting a decent sample size. Andrew Novak, Frankie Molinari, David Lipsky, Johnny Vegas, Hendrik Norlander, Austin Smotherman, Lanto Griffin, Daniel Berger, Alex Smalley, and Brendan Todd. Those are your top 10. So some interesting names, guys I would expect to be kind of in the mix, at least some of them anyway. So ball striking, let's see if anyone else pops there, gets a benefit from off the tee. Pretty similar. Kevin Yu benefits here. He jumps in. Brandon Wu as well. But a lot of the other guys still stay in the top 10, which is nice to see. Interesting. What do you want to do here?
Yeah, it checks out. I don't know. I don't know. It feels like this is a bit of a crapshoot, but I'm fine just looking at maybe like what we looked at, the wind stuff, playing your approach well in the wind, and probably just like form. Looking at form, maybe off the tee on less than driver, even though it's not less than driver in the same sense of, hey, there's a bunch of dog legs or a bunch of hazards or water that's forcing layups. It's less than driver because a lot of guys will take less than driver here in these sort of conditions. It might get a little messy here, guys.
Yeah. That's just what's tricky too. And then same thing, like you could have some shorter approaches, but then you have all these par threes that are 200 plus, depending on where the wind is too. You might have hanging back a little further than we would expect too. So this gets a little bit tricky in terms of how to handicap it, because how the weather is, the wind is a massive impactor. So, all right, we'll do approach here. This is windy approach. Last 3 years. Yeah. I don't know. We want to look at anything else with wind on? It's tricky.
I mean, if you wanted to just look at like 5 years of strokes gained total on windy conditions, that's fine.
Coastal courses?
It's like how have you played? I don't love coastal because it's going to bring in some tough courses.
Yeah, we can do coastal courses, easy scoring conditions. We'll see what we got sample wise.
Yeah,
because that'll rule out anything that's difficult. We'll see what we messed around with sample wise Easy, very easy scoring additions. I'll apply that, and we'll look at course type, coastal. Apply this. Let's see what we get. All right. Last 3 years, similar sample. See here your top players.
Maverick McNeely
Seems decent. Mav, Ben Griffin, 2 of the top on the odds board. Will Gordon, Matt Hughes, Andrew Putnam, Wes Bryan, Daniel Berger, Patrick Rogers, Seamus Power, a winner here, and Joel Damon, top 10.
Power, not only a winner, but he has a bunch of, like, basically every time he's come here, he's been good.
Yeah. Nico playing really good golf as well. It's consistently getting in the mix. This feels like a little bit of confirmation bias in terms of being somewhat predictive here. So
yeah,
we're going to add this. This is easy scoring, coastal. So we only have the 3 metrics, but I don't know what else you want to add. I mean, because again, big greens, putting matters, but it's not a necessarily, depending on the wind, a birdie fest per se. I mean, we did get to 24 last year, but I mean, it's kind of captured here in strokes gained total.
Yeah, I think I think this year is going to be more of a 16, 17 under kind of. And a lot can change. It's Tuesday. You know, that, like I mentioned the tournament. I'm trying to think of what tournament it was where we had the massive wind disadvantage. Like when I looked at the weather on Tuesday, it didn't seem that massive. And then you get to Wednesday, it's like, oh no, like this is going to be like a clear wave advantage.
I mean, why mess around? This is just what we need here. This is just.
That's it. Yeah. Nice and tidy this week. Just 3 metrics in the model.
Clean, easy. I'm not going to mess around with how we weigh them. I'm good with it. Let's see what we get. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to probably
Danny B.
Hold off. Daniel Berger, top of the board. Johnny Vegas, number 2. Matt Hughes, 3. Seamus Power, 4. Norlander, 5. Ben Griffin, 6. SYNO is 7. Jacob Bridgman, 8. Doug Gim, 9. David Lipsky, 10. Interesting. You can see here, I'll sort by DraftKings salary. This gives us a sense of somewhat of what we should expect leaderboard wise. For the most part, you can see Patrick Rogers a little further back, Lucas Glover a little further back, Justin Lauer. See Matty Schmidt, who let me down last week, played really well here last year, but not necessarily popping in the model per se. But yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it too, in terms of building a DFS lineup or ways to build the betting card and how it kind of relates to the odds board here too. But yeah, any takeaways, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Griffin, guy I bet every week. I'm trying to think who I'm not like getting sweats, but it feels like every one of my cards, I'll pick 4 guys and 2 are going to finish in the top 10. Another one's going to finish in the top 20. And then just enough for me to pay attention, but not enough to like get excited and sweat it. And I think it was Harry Hall had a nice week. Ben Griffin fell off. He had a bad Sunday, but he was right there too. I did win in my match. I got an email. Somebody was missing my matchups. I put matchups in the newsletter, and then I'd kind of hadn't done that in the swing season. So we faded Michael Kim last week with Daniel Berger. Michael Kim had a good week, but DB.
Yeah.
Nice finish for him. I'm actually thinking about looking at his price this week because he's starting to round into form. And in a weird, because of injury and when time he missed, he doesn't have a good FedEx rating. He doesn't have a good OWGR. Like he kind of needs, everybody needs this. I know it's like that. Well, this is a must-win game. I got to bet the Bulls. Backs to the wall. I know, but like Daniel Berger is clearly so much better than a lot of these golfers when he's at his peak. When he was at his peak, he was vying for big tournaments. It was a guy we were looking at as somebody who could be a big name in golf, and he's starting to get there. So I didn't back him last week outside of that matchup, but I'm kind of thinking about it this week. I'll probably just keep taking Ben Griffin until I'm blue in the face, and I guess I'd have to look at my models too. But I mean, this is probably not far off of what I'm going to see.
Yeah, you can see here. I was just looking at the recent form page, and you can see, some decent stuff out of DB. In the swing season here, didn't play Zozo, but pretty much been, I would say, in the mix. But solid at Sanderson. T20 last week too, is on the cusp of the 125. So it is a week where he's, to your point. I mean, yeah, he's not going through the motions, I guess, this week, which is something to be said for that. So 35s look like the best number currently out in the marketplace for Daniel Berger currently, but definitely a weird truncated, like just top of the board where there's just too many guys like sub 40 where it's like, this I know obviously golf outright hold is ridiculous anyway, but it feels aggressive this week where they're just like, you know what, we don't really know. So we're just gonna throw everyone in this mix. Everyone's
kind of the same price.
Yeah, everyone that you might consider is short of 50. So that's a little challenging. But
I love power. I probably can't bet him at this price. You know what? It's going to be Berger, Griffin, Vegas. I'm going to take some Johnny Vegas. Can't putt, but doesn't matter. I like how he's played. I'm going to have to actually look at his form before I say that for sure. Johnny Vegas, winner on tour this year, the Venezuelan. Missed the cut at the WWT, but was good at Zozo, good at Sanderson, obviously great at the 3M, top 20 John Deere. How do you do it? Did he play some of these weird ones? Wasn't great in Mexico. I don't know. He had a bad start to the season.
He did. He was rough early in the year.
It was pretty rough for a while. Considering Jonathan Vegas, considering Jacob Bridgman.
Yeah.
What do you get for a price on him right now?
45 on Caesars, which again, the Caesars never were the best price on the golf outright market. They are happy to take your Jacob Bridgman money this week, though.
Yeah, he was another one where he has a bunch of top 20s. 3M, Wyndham, last week, Sanderson, the RBC Canadian Open, top 14 there. Look at that. I'm probably going to play Bridgman over Vegas. I like building a quick card just based on like 2 or 3 models. We'll dig in on these guys a little before I finalize stuff, but he's on the short list. Oh, I'm out of pencil lead. That's not good. Oh, there's
down the board a little bit. Carson Young is I'm just trying to find guys that I think are interesting that are a little bit to the bottom or outside that like where they jammed everyone at 40. Carson Young's right there. He's kind of right there in the Jacob Bridgman territory. That one's a little bit of interest to me that I might take a look at too. And again, I'm going to wait until there's clear information on that. I probably won't do anything today. I'll wait till Wednesday and fire out some of these too and see what I like. But that's a name I'm going to look into.
One more who played really well last week and then also, was very decent at Zozo and Shriners is Sam Stevens.
Yeah.
I don't know where you have him in the wind model.
Well, he's at the top of the recent form model. In the wind model, he is not very. He's right here. He's let's see. Oh, maybe that was just his rank because of his DFS price.
Should show people the search function. Just type his name.
Oh, that's true. Let's just do that. Sam Stevens, 38th. The approach.
Not even the best Sam.
True.
He's behind Ryder. I might play him anyway. I'm going to look at a couple. He's on the short list. Sam Stevens is on the short list, mostly for form. Obviously, his form is electric.
Yeah. I don't hate it. It's 28 is the best price you can find there, too. So
everyone's like 25 to 45 then.
1,000%.
The entire field.
Except Mav, Power, and Mac Hughes, basically. Well, yeah, pretty much.
I might have to take somebody crazy long. Let's see. If I had to do a bomb. Oh God. Man, there's not a lot of names to love.
Well, so the guys that are down here that are guys that did well in the model. That might be a little bit lower, is Norlander, 60. Not even that big.
James Hahn.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore.
I was gonna say Ryan Moore. That's played well here last year. When distance doesn't matter, that works a little bit for Ryan Moore. Otherwise, Peter Malnati's here. Peter Malnati won an actual one of the Snake Pit this past year, 200-1 on Peter Malnati in this field. Again, though, he does wear a bucket hat and he plays a green ball. So, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I made this decision and I am comfortable backing bucket hat and green ball. I just can't do it. I have standards.
Yeah, if I played somebody in that range, it'd probably be like Kevin Chappell. Woof. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have a bomb on this one. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys. I'm not saying that bombs aren't gonna win this, but it's going to be hard to pick which one. It's going to be very difficult for me to decide on a long shot or two here. I'm going to build a couple more small models on the rabbit hole. I'll probably have like an official one for the week after this. I get a little time for my next meeting.
I was going to say Russell Knox, always a guy that is profiled and there's just, you think of good win players. I've always thought Russell Knox not playing particularly great golf, but you can see some of these other things are actually okay. He's 27th. Russell Knox, 350-1. You want like an actual full bomb, Russell Knox. Yeah, let's see if Russell Knox has been doing anything lately. Oh, buddy, not been playing and not been playing well. So hey, that's why he's 350. But just saying, putting that out there. Lean into the wind. Let's see what we get from Russell Knox. If I look at his player page, it's going to be a lot of red. A lot of oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, man. Russell Knox not dialed in of late. A lot of missed cuts. He didn't play much last year. Injured a little bit. Did make the cut in Kentucky. 76 here last year. So really tough sell here, guys, on Russell Knox. But again, good win player. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, he's
not good.
He'll show up. Is he even in the field?
He's loaded in the field. He's on the betting board.
Does he have a salary on your screen?
He does not have a salary on my screen.
That's why I worry about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna Twitter search Russell Knox, see if our guy comes up, or he is withdrawn. He was a late addition last night. Joe Highsmith and Taylor Montgomery pulled out, replaced by Dirt McGirt and Russell Knox. So he is in. 3 Scotsmen. Can you name the other 2?
Martin Laird's in there, right?
Yep. The third one I won't get.
Third one I won't get?
I don't think so.
No.
Graham Robertson, of course.
Graham Robertson, yeah, I would not have got Graham Robertson. It would take me a little bit. But, yeah. Marty Laird for sure. It's always, most of these events in the last handful of years, you want to bet Low Countryman. It's been Laird versus Knox, basically heads up. So that's it, buddy. It's all I got.
Have you made any bets? Yeah.
I'm not. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait till the weather.
Right. Berger, Griffin, Bridgman for sure.
Berger's of interest.
Lauer, Vegas, Homeless Hubbard, short list.
Okay.
Mark Hubbard, yeah, the last one. I guess I forgot to mention him, but he not great last week, made the cut, but he was very good at Shriners, and he's had some decent finishes in him. I don't know if I can bet on him to win a tournament though.
Yeah, Berger Griffin makes a ton of sense. There's just no one cheaper, deeper down the board. That's exciting, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. So, all right. Yeah. If you have a favorite golfer that we missed on this week that you like in DFS, betting, or anything else, obviously leave it in the comments, hit us up on Twitter, bug us in the Discord, whatever you want to do. If you have any questions about the rabbit hole or you want to get involved in it, I will give you a promo code. If you DM us, we'll just give you a promo code to try it for even cheaper. If you're not a user and you want to build some models next week for the RSM, but you're afraid to kind of fire on a monthly because there's not much golf after that, I'll give you a promo code to kind of take a nibble at it. Otherwise, if you really want, we still are offering a full year membership for just $10 to Rebet. If you sign up for Rebet using our promo code, which is in the description, you can, you buy $10 worth of Rebet bucks, and we'll send you a promo code, get a full year, which is worth 250 damn American dollars. And you'll get it for $10. I know not an exciting time of the year to sign up for a golf modeling database, considering what's up for the next 6 weeks, but it's a full 365 days. So you'll have, the Players, the Masters, the US Open, the Wyndham, Myrtle Beach, Bay Hill, all of them. Those are the only ones I can name. Detroit. The PGA, the ISCO Championship, you'll have them all. So I don't know that we'll have that offer come January 1st. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, golf is back. Oh, they're in Hawaii. Oh, well, yeah, no, we don't have the $10 deal. You should have done it back in November, turd. So take advantage of it now. It's kind of an off-season deal for us while we're in the, in our swing season as well.
Yeah, these sweepstakes things are like, honestly, kind of the future. Somehow found a loophole. It's a sports book. It's available in 46 states. They have prop builder. So like you're betting NFL and you have liquidity issues and you want to get down, like they have. It's basically a sports book. So it's a 1-for-1 Rebet cash coins for USD. It's it's just their way around some of the legislation around sports books. But yeah, these sweepstakes sites are pretty interesting. So it's a great loophole. Again, 46 states, you can use the $10 and bet NFL in the next handful of weeks, or save it to bet golf with us coming in January. So great deal. And I think a site that you'd probably use quite a bit too.
Perfect. All right, appreciate you guys. Hit the thumbs up if you watched on YouTube. Subscribe, rate, review. Enjoy the golf. We'll see you next week for RSM.